Have you ever wondered whether true influence comes from personal style or from inner wisdom? Is life shaped by aesthetics, elegance, and the way we present ourselves, or by discipline, virtue, and mastery of the self? Imagine a clash of extraordinary minds. Fashion confronting Stoic philosophy, external impression versus internal mastery, a battle not of garments or speeches, but principles that define how one lives and leads. Stay until the end, subscribe now, and witness the debate. Giorgio Armani, the fashion icon shaping style and elegance, versus Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor teaching discipline, virtue, and wisdom.
Marcus, you speak of wisdom, virtue, and discipline, and I respect the centuries of thought behind your philosophy. Yet I argue that how we present ourselves to the world carries power and influence just as profound as any inner mastery. Elegance, style, and refinement are not superficial. They shape perception, inspire confidence, and can open doors that wisdom alone may never reach. Appearance is a language, a subtle form of communication that conveys authority, taste, and identity before a word is spoken. A man or woman who understands style can command attention, project competence, and influence others in ways that purely philosophical virtue cannot. Clothes, posture, and presentation are tools that convey intention and character. Like a well-constructed argument, style persuades, impresses, and inspires. To dismiss it as mere vanity is to overlook its strategic and social power. Consider the world of fashion and design. Every detail matters. Fabrics, cuts, and combinations are not chosen randomly. They are deliberate, calculated expressions of identity and intent. Elegance shapes experience, affects relationships, and signals values, taste, and professionalism. It is an art that transforms perception and opens possibilities. You emphasize discipline, reflection, and virtue, but even the wisest individuals must operate within the social world. Perception matters. One can possess great knowledge and moral clarity, yet be ignored, underestimated, or dismissed if presentation undermines credibility or presence. Style enhances the impact of virtue, making wisdom visible and respected. Furthermore, the pursuit of beauty, proportion, and elegance can cultivate discipline in its own right. Attention to detail, consistency, and refinement in dress mirror the same commitment you advocate in personal conduct. Style is a discipline of aesthetics, a practical application of taste and judgment that shapes both self and society. Marcus, I am Giorgio Armani, and I contend that external mastery through style is not superficial but a vital form of influence. It communicates, persuades, and amplifies inner qualities. Elegance, when combined with wisdom, creates a presence that commands attention, inspires respect, and leaves a lasting impression on the world. To live fully, one must not only cultivate the mind and soul but also understand the subtle, transformative power of style.
Giorgio, your mastery of style, elegance, and presentation is undeniably impressive. There is no denying the influence that appearance exerts in social interactions, in business, and in shaping first impressions. Yet I must insist, true mastery, the kind that endures beyond fleeting admiration, comes from discipline, virtue, and the governance of one's own mind. Style may impress, but wisdom guides, and character persists where fashion fades. The external world is transient. Fabrics wear, trends change, and appearances deceive. Virtue, by contrast, is enduring. The Stoic path teaches that control over one's impulses, the cultivation of reason, and the adherence to ethical principles are what define a life of value. While style affects perception, wisdom shapes the soul, the choices, and ultimately destiny. You argue that elegance communicates authority and inspires confidence, and indeed it can. Yet the greatest leaders, the most influential men and women, are remembered not merely for their presentation, but for the clarity, justice, and integrity with which they act. A finely tailored suit cannot substitute for ethical conduct. A polished exterior cannot hide moral weakness. True influence arises from inner mastery expressed through action, not solely from the image projected to others. Consider this. External adornment may draw attention, but it cannot prevent error, adversity, or the consequences of poor judgment. The mind guided by reason is resilient, prepared, and capable of responding rightly in any circumstance. Wisdom equips a person to navigate life's challenges with composure and virtue, whereas style alone is limited to persuasion and impression. Moreover, the pursuit of style must be disciplined and tempered by moderation, lest it become vanity or distraction. Just as the Stoic governs desire and emotion, one must ensure that the pursuit of elegance does not overshadow moral purpose. Beauty and refinement, when joined with virtue, amplify the good. Without virtue, they risk leading the soul astray. Giorgio, I am Marcus Aurelius, and I argue that external mastery through style, though influential, is subordinate to the enduring mastery of the self. Wisdom governs action, shapes destiny, and defines legacy, whereas appearance is fleeting. Let elegance complement virtue, not replace it. In the end, the mind and the soul endure. Clothes and fashion do not.
Marcus, I respect your emphasis on virtue, discipline, and the governance of the soul. Yet I must remind you that influence is not abstract. It is lived and experienced in the world. Style is not vanity. It is a tool, a language, a way to convey intention, authority, and identity before a word is spoken. Even the wisest individuals operate within society, where perception shapes opportunity and action. Elegance, refinement, and presence amplify the impact of virtue. They ensure that wisdom is seen, heard, and respected. A man may possess reason and discipline, but without a way to communicate his mastery effectively, his influence may be muted. Clothes, posture, and presentation shape perception, inspire confidence, and open doors. Style is an extension of character. It allows the virtues you champion to be recognized, respected, and acted upon by others. A thoughtful action may be wasted if ignored, but a presence cultivated with care ensures that influence follows. Consider the world of fashion and design. Every detail communicates intention. Every line, cut, and combination is deliberate, reflecting judgment and taste. Similarly, every choice we make in personal presentation affects how others perceive our competence, authority, and reliability. Elegance and wisdom are not opposed, they complement. Style does not replace virtue, it magnifies it. Moreover, cultivating aesthetic discipline reinforces habits of precision, attention, and care, qualities that mirror the very discipline you value. Elegance becomes a practice in mindfulness, consistency, and taste. Fashion is a form of applied artistry, teaching the observer to refine choices and execute with deliberate intent. The external becomes a reflection of the internal. Marcus, I am Giorgio Armani, and I assert that style and elegance, when aligned with virtue, become powerful allies. They amplify the reach of wisdom, communicate mastery to the world, and ensure that insight and character do not go unnoticed. To live fully, one must cultivate both the inner mind and the outward presence.
Giorgio, your mastery of style, your insight into perception and presentation is undeniably compelling. I do not dismiss the power of elegance or the influence of appearance. Yet I maintain that external mastery, however refined, is fleeting compared to the enduring power of wisdom, virtue, and self-discipline. Clothes fade, trends pass, but character endures. Influence grounded solely in appearance is fragile, dependent on circumstances beyond control. True mastery begins within. A person guided by reason, ethical reflection, and virtue acts rightly regardless of the world's perception. Wisdom equips one to navigate adversity, make just decisions, and shape life with purpose. Style may open doors, but virtue ensures that what follows is ethical, meaningful, and enduring. Without the foundation of character, elegance is a hollow shell. You argue that style amplifies virtue, and indeed it can, but it must remain secondary. Let the soul govern, and the appearance serve. Without this hierarchy, the external can overshadow the internal, distracting from the cultivation of wisdom itself. A man's legacy is defined not by how he looked, but by how he acted, how he governed himself, and the principles he upheld. Even the most influential wardrobe cannot prevent error, mitigate fear, or guide decision-making. Inner mastery ensures resilience, composure, and clarity amidst chaos. Virtue allows wisdom to shine through any circumstance, making it both portable and enduring, whereas fashion is transient, appreciated only by those who witness it. I am Marcus Aurelius, and I assert that style may enhance life, but it cannot replace the disciplined mind. Let elegance complement wisdom, not guide it. True influence arises from reasoned action and virtue, and this is the mastery that endures beyond appearance.
Subscribe now and comment below. Who do you think won this debate of principles? Tonight, we witnessed Giorgio Armani, the fashion icon whose mastery of style, elegance, and presentation influences the world, versus Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor teaching discipline, virtue, and the enduring power of wisdom. Style amplifies perception, but wisdom guides action. One cultivates external presence, the other cultivates inner mastery. Reflect, compare, and decide. Which path inspires your own journey?